Welcome to the program. Today we are honored to speak to one of Uganda's top female entrepreneurs, the founder and managing director of Delight Uganda Limited and Delight Noya Agro-Business Limited. They have been in existence since 1996, so it's 21 years in existence. She's going to be sharing with us her success story. Julian Adyeri. This is The Shift. I'm Ashaba.
Producing the country's most popular drink sold under the brand Cheers, Julian Adyeri Omalla has diversified into a range of different activities, factors that have contributed to her success, like she shares.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I'm humbled to meet you.
Julian Adyeri Omalla is the managing director of Delight Uganda Limited and the founder of Delight Uganda Limited and Delight Agro-Business Noya Limited.
Okay.
Is the wife of Omalla Felix, the chief magistrate of Fort Portal, and the mother of three. That is now.
How was your childhood life? What are some of those things you cannot forget?
Something I will never forget in my life. When I was a kid, I grew with a lot of expectation, and I was very creative. I remember one day I was moving, I saw a plane was up. I started imagining, can't it fall on me? Another thing, who made it, who manufactured it? How can it be up there? So that day I stood, I watched the plane, all my understanding and my conscience was on the plane. Till my big sister said, Julian, what are you thinking about? I said, I'm thinking about the plane. Who made that plane? And I wanted you last year, I was happy when the aeroplane landed at our farm. I remembered my childhood vision. I really laughed. That's when I read, I hugged the Prime Minister. I said, yes, you've come in the aeroplane. I'm happy that you've come in it. Another thing, I used to see the Bahindi selling biscuits, the vehicles moving around. I remember I told my mom, when I grow up, I will also be a manufacturer. I will also make those things, and I said, and I thank God that my dream has turned to reality. I'm into production, and I thank God. I thank God. I grew with a lot of expectation, and I really want to thank my mom. My mom did not go to school, but she used to work with the sisters at the Paris. They used to make for us jam from mangoes, and they used to make for us pancakes. And I remember the time we made mandazi, we did not have wheat flour. We went and we got cassava. That cassava was very good, called kalasa, and we did not remove the starch on top. We boiled it in a lot of water. We added sugar, we put the baking powder, and we baked. We pounded in cassava in the mortar, and we fried. And we used to sell to the students at school because my father was a teacher, so we were living in the compound. So I grew with that background.
How many children were you?
Our father was a teacher, headmaster. I thank God actually he has enjoyed his pension for more than 30 years. A great teacher. He's 93 and still very active.
Really
he's building a church. Very active. He can take himself to, he comes every month and go to Mulago, and he still preach the word of God. He's a Catholic, and he prays for sick people. So I didn't grow in a family, a lovely family. We were many. That one I will tell you. Extended family. And you know, our mothers, those are the old mothers who would keep all of us who were children at home. At least we were more than 20, including others who would come to live with us.
Talking about education, how was your education like?
Yeah, I had a lot of challenges in education because in primary, my father was a head teacher. Life was very fine. I went to secondary. But at that time when the War of Museveni came in, my father was tortured by the army from Tanzania. He could not afford to push me. That was after senior 4. I had to start struggling with life. I worked for my brother in Kasuri, in a retail shop. I enjoyed my work in Kasuri. I remember I used to sleep in Kawala. I would walk by foot to come to Kasubi, and I used to sell. What I used to do is to balance produce for those people who lived in Chiboga. They would come at times, give us some credit, groundnuts, beans, and we sell. And we really made money. I made money for my brother that time because I was a worker. I remember my salary was 30,000. I made a lot of money for him, and he built in Kawala. And since life was so hard, I learned many things. I also worked for my brother in Hoima, the former inspector of schools, in his farm in Mugabe. And I learned many things that when I was in the farm, I would imagine, if I plant maybe 30 acres of cassava, can't we make money? And indeed I did that. But the farm was not mine. We disagreed. He came, quarreled me. How can you decide in my farm and plant all cassava? I told him, I just helped you. This farm is yours. The cassava, you did not give me money, but I would cut the bananas. We brew the mubisi, and people would drink, and I fry eggs for them, and they would do for me free work. That's villagers by that time. And that is the time I developed that, yes, I will need to have a farm on my own.
That's when you got the business idea.
Yes. And when I was in Kasubi, I said yes. When I start my own business, I will do better. But I also remember that this.
Okay. So when does the business now start? When do you think of, let me now do my own?
My own business, that time when I was in Kasubi, then my brother took over his shop because he had pressure from the family that your sister is making much money. I said, okay. I was just a sister at home working, and I was getting little money. That's when I went to work in the farm of my brother in Hoima, and I was not comfortable after planting a lot of cassava, and I was not paid really for my effort. That's when I said, I should come back. I remember I did not have money, but we had our MP for Hoima. He helped me to get a passport. That's when I got the passport. Looking for a passport when you don't have capital. I remember I got $100. That was my capital starting to do border business. Going to Malaba, Busia to buy biscuits, and I would put in the taxi. I used to be the first person in the taxi, and you would do trade. That very day you cross to Malaba, you cross with your things, you put in the taxi, you come, you sell in Chikuba, you go back, and from there we made some money. We started going to Nairobi with Mawingo bus, and I would go pay half a ticket. You stand in the other people's seats, you sit in the middle. I really suffered, that's what I can tell you. I came from far, and mine is a humble poor beginning. And one thing I want to talk about is reinvesting in the money, in the business. The little I would get, I would ensure that I invested in the business back, and also being transparent and trustworthy. So when I started my company, that was in 1996, I want to thank Mr. Sunil of Desbro, Uganda. He started giving me some credit, and I also went to Israel. I started with a certificate. I started a diploma in food science. Then I came back. I started making the juice, and I would bring my bottles from Safe Park from Kenya in a Mawingo bus in the middle, where at night I would beg everybody passing not to step on my bottles. I just survived on the mass of many who would give me on credit and working hard, really.
We are here, Delight Uganda Limited. How would you examine its growth right now, looking at it?
One thing I want to say, we had a humble poor beginning since 1996. And we grew up well. We had no challenges because we captured the market of the student. You remember when you were at school, you were taking cheers.
Yeah.
The only one mistake I've ever done in life, when I decided to borrow, I borrowed 100% loan. I bought a hostel. That hostel, I became a slave of the bank. For the 5 years, I was a slave of the bank paying the loan. I borrowed a lot of money, 4.8 billion. I paid up to 9 billion, up to the interest, and I sold up the security. That made the decline of Delight Uganda. The best choice I did was to go to Noya and start the mango farm. And also in Southern Sudan, I made a lot of money. I relocated the bucket from here to Sudan, and I used to save at least, I used to bake 150 bags of wheat flour, and we used to sell Rwenzori water. By the time Samira bought Rwenzori, I had sold 45% of their total production, exported it to Southern Sudan. We made money. But the collapse of Southern Sudan, with the loan which I had, declined the delight so much. But I realized my own mistakes, because as an entrepreneur, what matters? How many times you fall down, it does not matter, but how many times you can raise. So I've been having a challenge of debts. But I sold off the securities, the hostel, I paid the bank, I removed the rope from my neck, and I'm happy again as a bird in air. I'm extremely happy that I made the right decision to go and start farming, and to go and work with the women at the grassroots. And I'm extremely happy that I also have learned, and I have also caused an impact in
As an
people.
entrepreneur, how would you rate the state of women in business today here in Uganda?
Here in Uganda,
Have we grown? Are we still lagging?
yes, I will rate the state of women like this. There are few women at the top, very many women at the ground. That means the women at the grassroots need help. And
The
that's
women
why.
at the top are not helping those at the
No,
grassroots.
no. We have good women. You remember the first prime minister, vice president was a woman. Our speaker is a woman. We have women at the top. It is our responsibility. We as women who have managed to do something, to think of our fellow women at the grassroots, and we help them. And actually, to me, that's what I do. You see this award, you might wonder, where did I get it? Being a woman on top of the planet.
Please tell us.
I worked with women in Southern Sudan, trying to train them how to stop crying, because after the war, the women were following up their men were excited, sleeping in hotels, irresponsible at home, marrying young girls. I told women, the only way we are mothers is to work hard. So I will tell them, come and buy on credit our breads, go and sell, buy eggs on credit and maize flour, go and sell, pay the money in the evening. And the women of Southern Sudan were extremely happy. And when they asked them, who is your role model? They said Julian Adyeri from Uganda, the women of Northern Uganda. When I went, I worked with them. I told them, yes, the war is over. You are fond of making food crop, but year in, year out, you are in the garden. Why can't you plant a mango? When you plant a mango, after 4 or 5 years, you'll be selling to me a mango, you get money to build a better house, to educate your children, also to have a better living. So I started by meeting under a tree. From there, we started meetings. We had a challenge with men. They used to think that I'm going to spoil their wives.
Yeah.
But I told them, no, for me, I'm a married woman. For me, I'm an entrepreneur. For me, I want people who work together. And I applied to ABI Trust. They gave us money for training. So we started training in the community, both men and women.
Even give them
We give
certificates.
them a certificate. We are doing this with Dr. Gudula, the chairperson of Uganda Women Entrepreneurs. He's also a board member of Delight and a board member of Private Sector Foundation. When we started training them in gender methodologies, they managed to understand us right, and they planted mangoes. And also we are doing the robe from government. We are supplying them with the oranges and mangoes from nuts, and we are working with the Operation Waste Creation.
So it's 21 years in existence you're celebrating this
Yes,
year.
yes. We are celebrating
Quite
21 years
number
of existence.
Years.
And
with your products, how do you feel with that kind
you
of
can
success?
see how happy I am.
I know
We
the
have
smile
launched
has brightened.
a new product. This is 300 meals ready to drink. There is a content of the fresh juice, and this is our latest model. It was launched by the Cardinal in Namugongo on Banakizito Day, and we had 200 scores. And I really thank the Almighty God. I said, yes,
Sure,
we shall celebrate that in Namugongo, the Holy Land, and being launched by the Cardinal, really, I really praise the Lord. This is the 300 meals. We also launched,
drink.
yes, 500 meals. And next week we are launching the cup of 500 ceilings. You know this cup, ready to drink, yes, 500.
Okay.
Yes, so that anybody can afford our ready to drink, and this ready to drink is good. It has a bigger percentage of the fresh juice. And next year we shall launch our own mango from Noya district. Yes.
So Delight Uganda Limited is growing bigger.
We are growing bigger and bigger. After paying the loans, after selling some of our properties and paying the loan and getting tired of borrowing, I advise my fellow women, please stop borrowing, stop over borrowing. You can only borrow when you need. When you have 3/4 of your capital, you can only borrow a quarter, and you get the right finance, not to borrow a lot of money, to become a slave of the bank. Because one thing I want to tell you, you find that the interest rate is 28%. The profit we work at today because of the economy, we are struggling to get 10%. The equation cannot balance because you have to pay 28% and the profit is 10%. Automatically that means if entrepreneurs as women, before we borrow, we must consult, bring in consultants to be advised. I think that is another mistake I did. When we got excited, we did not seek for advice. But now before I borrow, I think I will have to consult. I will be advised by not less than 10 people to advise me and to do the costing and calculation to evaluate that will I really make the profit to pay the bank and I sell something. Those are the mistakes, and I burnt my fingers. I sang all that I've learned in the hard way and I have suffered. There is a time I could not smile. There is a time I went to sleep and I got an award. I could not raise up to go and pick it. I just said, my daughter, go and pick that award. I will never forget that time. So my humble request to the women entrepreneurs and women at the grassroots, start small, reinvest using your capital money. We should do saving. Any woman must save somehow, little it is. If you know I'm earning 100,000, at least save 10-20%.
Those women in business, I'm sure they have learned a lesson there. If you want to borrow, if you're thinking of borrowing, don't do it. But if you must borrow, then seek for advice so that you make the right decision. And we know you as one of those decorated women with awards and all that. What are some of those things you think have led you to achieve?
To me, I think it's hard work and also having others in mind. Because the money cannot be enough, and money cannot make you happy. What is important? Have you touched people's lives? Have you been a hero in people's lives? Have you worked with others? So, as I said, in Southern Sudan, I worked with women. In Northern Uganda, I work with women. At my place of work, I'm one of those companies, a few companies, which signed a gender equality seal. I signed that to give women equality, equal pay, and also to organize our company that we value women. We promote women,
events.
we promote them. Women who are young mothers, we should also work with them, like in the north. I'm planning to set a training center, but I will have a small accommodation for those young mothers, for those who come to work with children, where the children can pray from, the special diet for them. I did have I have that person to work with the woman and also to mentor the youth. That is me, because that's what makes me happy in my life. And I'm what I am because I've helped people and I've been helped. I really want to thank Professor Maggie Chigoza. She's my role model. When she was the executive director, when she was the executive director of Uganda Investment Authority, that woman mentored me. That woman supported me. That woman would tell me, Julian, if there are meetings, you should leave your work to go and attend meeting. You must go for training. You must do this and this. She helped me also to come out of the kitchen. And I want to thank Victoria Sectorico. Now she's helping me. She's a board member of ABI Trust. And ABI Trust is helping us to give us money for training. He supported us when we are making the nursery and the irrigation. And they are going to continue helping us. And I decided also to be a board member of Private Sector Foundation so that we can find the way to change the community. Because Ugandan today, we really have a problem. We have a big problem, especially our youth. The way as we have brought up the children as mothers is not the right way. You know what? Our children have grown in homes where we have maids, where we have TVs. The TVs have become the parents of our children. Most of the time they are on the TV. We no longer get time to take our children to the villages to learn work, to dig, to be mentored. They are at school, from school to the TV, from the TV they chat with house girls. We pretend to be so busy making money when we are raising useless youth in the community. Before I blame our children, I blame my fellow parents. We really have no time for our children. My family, when the children are at home, we must have a meal together. I remember the Pope was also blaming us as parents. We must have time to parent. We must have time to counsel our children. So that is the challenge we have. Now at the place of work, that is my biggest challenge, especially the youth today. People want to become rich quick. People want to work a few hours. People are not creative. So Uganda, we have a challenge. We are receiving children to do internship from the universities. I've been working with those people from Guru University in Nyabyaya. I always sit with the teenagers. In Noya, I live with 240 people at the farm. 80% are youth. So I always get time to chat with them. It's not easy. Uganda, we need a total mindset. Starting from the education, from the syllabus, we need a great change. If we need to help ourselves.
Help yourself.
And for us, if God has helped us and we have moved, me, I've been helped by the donors. And I really want to thank God that I'm going back to school. Last year I was in the Garden Institute. I went, I learned, and I got my diploma. This year I'm going also to America to study. This time I want to thank the American Embassy. They are the one who nominated me to go for my further studies. And I want to thank government of Uganda. They are the one going to pay for my studies. And I have to leave the workers in charge to go and study. My husband is at school, my children are at school, I'm also going to learn. We must learn, yes, because I'm going to learn accountability. Everybody must be accountable. So as I work with the donors, I work with the government, even in my own company, I must be in position to understand, to be accountable, to learn accountability. I don't want to continue making those mistakes because if I were wise enough by that time, I wouldn't have borrowed that money. So nowadays, I must have time to be better.
These are powerful words from Mama Cheers, like many of you famously call her, as she's still advising us on how to invest, how to seek for advice. Tune in next week for a continuation of the same program. I've been your host, Ashaba. Keep tuned to your BC.